Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Sassy Blonde Writer and today we're going to talk about the blank page. Specifically how to get over that anxiety about staring at that blank page when you get to write. Let me paint you a little picture. You did it. You finally figured out your novel and it's time. You did all your pre-writing work and are ready to start drafting. Plot outline, check. Working title, check. Character names, check. Awesome writing playlist, check, checkaroo. Then you get to your writing space. You have a nice, cozy little cup of tea. Maybe you have a couple of snacks too. And you open up that document and you open up that notebook and there it is, the blank page. And you sit there and you stare at it. If you're anything like me, you probably hate looking at that blank page. For me, it's just one of the most intimidating things in the world sometimes. I know when I was in 6th grade, a blank page on my writer's notebook was just so inspiring. But now I'm an anxious adult and I hate it. Hate it. I've seen that blank page. I feel like I haven't gotten anything done yet and maybe I never will. There are born writers and born editors, and I think one of the reasons that I really hate looking at the blank page is because now as an adult I am an editor. I would 100% rather edit a piece of garbage that I wrote and turn it into something great than write something brand new from scratch. Once you figure out which one of them you are, the process of writing a book is significantly easier. Today we're going to go through some of my top writing advice for beating that blank page anxiety. The 4 important R's. Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna. So reduce is in reference to the scope of what you are trying to write on the page. It's very scary to open a blank page with the goal of writing an entire book. It's too broad, it's too general. Pretend your novel is a Kit Kat and break it up. Now I want a Kit Kat. Where was I? Break your ginormous plot of a novel into different scenes, then pick the one that you feel like writing at the time. It's totally okay to write your book out of order. You wanna know why? No one's gonna know you did that. It can be out of order, in order. Start with the end with the start. Do something in the middle. What does it matter? You're gonna have to edit it anyway. Just write down your description of that scene, come back to it later and fix it up. I'm having trouble writing. I'll just write out a really detailed description of what happens and then I'll come back to it later. I usually make it a different color, like purple, because I love purple. So that way when I go back, my brain will see the purple and be like, oh yeah, I gotta fix that. Easier said than done for you analog writers. Keep that description and then start writing that scene. If that's all you write, that's okay. I promise no one's gonna tell on you. At the end of the day, no one's really gonna care how you got the novel done. Just the fact that you got it done will be impressive. If this seems familiar, it's probably because this is essentially what they tell you in school to do on essay questions for standardized tests. They give you the description and the bullet points of the requirements of what you're writing. It usually takes about half the page. Then they give you the lines to actually start writing on, so you can just check off what you do or you can cross it off like a little to-do list. It's immensely easier to write when you have a prompt right in front of you because then you know exactly what you're expected to write about. If I'm writing a scene in this fashion, I will go back to my little outline at the top of the page and I'll delete what I already wrote in that scene. By the time I'm done, the purple outline is gone and all any reader will see is what I wrote for my draft. Bada bing, bada boom. Reduce the amount of blankness on that page to get the ball rolling. My next tip is reuse. If you've learned anything about literature and language arts or beyond, and if you're writing a book you probably did or you wouldn't be here, then you know that one of the most effective tools you can use in a book to build theme is repetition. Theme is an idea in a book, fiction or nonfiction, theater, music, film, or art or dance that comes up over and over and over again. It is the central topic. In nonfiction, it's your thesis statement. It's something you keep, as you write, you keep bringing it back to that one thing. It's the part of the song that gets stuck in your head. It's the chorus. It's the piece of dialogue that for some reason everybody in the movie or TV show keeps saying. Ohana means family in Lilo and Stitch. It's don't turn your back on the family in The Godfather. It's the freaking green light across the sound in The Great Gatsby. It's the thing you want your audience to remember and take away from whatever you're doing. So chances are, whether you meant to or not, you have something that keeps coming up in your book. In the manuscript that I'm currently working on, that I'm currently editing, I have 2 weddings that happened. I already wrote the first one when I was writing my first draft, so this is my second draft. I just added the second wedding, and it's really annoying to rewrite everything all over again, especially because in these 2 weddings, it's a lot of similar people are showing up. And I hate setting the scene. It's one of my least favorite things to do, and I'm not really looking forward to it. If only there was a way for me to take what I already wrote about the first wedding and just copy and paste it into the scene with the second wedding, and then I could just change stuff. Oh wait, I can do that. Just copy and paste it, and there you go. I will copy what I already wrote for one scene and then paste it. I will basically use what I already wrote as a template for the scene that I'm working on if I'm having trouble writing it from scratch. Why reinvent the wheel? Why make things harder for myself? And if those similar scenes have some differences, then it makes it even better. Like, for example, the wedding at the beginning of the book was really over the top and elaborate, and then the second one was really small and understated. And as I'm going through what I originally wrote, I can basically highlight the differences because it's already there. It's already clear to me what those differences are going to be. I can really bring out those differences in when I'm going through the part that I'm reusing. It feels like cheating, but it's not. Long story short, reuse what you already wrote to help you deal with that blank page anxiety. My next tip is recycle. Now, it sounds a lot like reuse. The difference is where the stuff came from. Throughout my entire life, from elementary school to now, I have been trying to write a book. You know what that means? I have a lot, so many just dead manuscripts. Some are just an opening page of an idea that I had that I immediately forgot about. Some are just short stories I wrote for English class in middle school and high school that I thought I did a really good job on that I wanted to hang on to. And some are poems that I wrote when I was feeling particularly angsty in my preteen years. Don't judge me. Whenever I'm trying to write something and a particular scene is giving me trouble, sometimes I'll take a little trip down to my manuscript graveyard and I'll see if I can find something to use as a base for what I want to have in that scene. Even though it was pretty decent writing back then, I grew out of the plot because, you know, I grew up. But that doesn't mean that all the time and energy that I spent writing has to go to waste. I also noticed that the scenes I enjoyed writing have changed since then, so it's nice to have past me help current me with my book. A lot of my old stuff usually had some type of romance or quips back and forth between friends. I blame Gilmore Girls for the quippiness and the sarcasm. But now my favorite scenes to write are action scenes or fights or emotionally heavy scenes, stuff that I would shy away from when I was a teenager because now I'm older. And so the things that I focus on now in my life aren't like romance or the will they, won't they type of drama. It's almost like I'm a more mature person now. If I'm going to recycle some of my old writing, I usually copy and paste the old stuff into my current project and then change the color to a font of something that's bright and attention grabbing. I usually go for red with this one, so that way I remember that this writing was not made for this current project, and I will need to edit it so that way the names match up, it fits the plot, there's no plot ghosts from my past manuscript working its way and haunting my current manuscript. I usually use it as a placeholder if I'm not really into the scene that I have to write for my manuscript, just so I have something on the page. And fourth, and some may say the most important R, is Rihanna. Little something to remember within your writing playlist because that stuff is empowering. Better have my money, better have these pages done. Those are all my writing tips for today on how to fight that blank page anxiety. If you enjoyed this video, please like or comment below so that way I know that you want more content like this. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos once to twice a week, and as always, happy writing.